Heists have been a part of cinema since at least 1903, when The Great Train Robbery became one of the most successful movies of its time. There's something intrinsically compelling about people stealing things, the thrill of transgression, the desperation that leads to the act, the anxiety of getting caught. Heist films have changed tremendously over the intervening 120 plus years, but the best of them still retain that sense of excitement and danger. So join the great pop culture debate as we attempt to name the best heist film of all time. I have performed a variety of jobs on a variety of Italians, although I'm not sure how that qualifies me for this topic. I'm your host, Eric Resniak. Please welcome my panelists for this episode. First up, taking a break from assembling a ragtag team for one last job, it's panelist Carissa Claus.
Are you ready for the montage? Because there's going to be a montage.
Well, there damn well better be. Next, he's going undercover with some surfers. Is it to stop crime or to sleep with Patrick Swayze? It's Kevin Dillon.
Oh, why not both, Eric? And throw in Keanu Reeves while you're at it.
You know what? If he comes to bed wearing a Ronald Reagan mask, actually, I still would. And finally, we have a special guest for this episode. Please welcome Paul Kayola from the That Aged Well podcast. Welcome, Paul.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. I feel right at home because we're already talking about sleeping with Patrick Swayze, which is at least 75% of my personality.
Oh, totally. Yes, yeah. I'm right there with you.
Today, to be clear. I don't care.
You know what? He's finally hit my ideal goal weight.
Yeah.
And up in the producer booth, we have Bob Erlenbach, who has his eye on the prize, in this case, the baseball diamond. And with introductions out of the way, let's grab this episode's bracket from greatpopculturedebate.com and get into our Slick 16. First up, the panel has unanimously decided to gamble on Ultimate One-Seed Ocean's 11, the remake from 2001, which meant that 4-seed The Town from 2010 has been evacuated from our bracket. Next, the majority of the panel wants to hang 10 with the Surfer Thieves of 2-seed Point Break, the original from 1991, but Carissa is alone in the desert with her pick of 3-seed Three Kings from 1999. Carissa, tell us why you were going to crown Three Kings in this matchup.
Yeah, this is a really interesting heist movie, I think, because it's set in, this film is from 1999, but it's set a few years earlier at the end of the first Gulf War, where the American soldiers find a map and discover that they figure it is for a bunker of Kuwaiti gold, which, per the ceasefire, Iraq has to give back. George Clooney plays a guy who's got 2 more weeks until retirement, and they're about to leave this place, and he decides to take a couple people and maybe go see if they can find this gold. Things really change when they discover the Iraqi army is terrorizing citizens. There's confusion and chaos. Mark Wahlberg is in this. He's in a lot of the things that we're actually going to talk about.
So is George Clooney.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Right. It's interesting. Some of these heist guys have been in a lot of things.
Yep.
So yeah, then the priorities change and there's, the movie gets a little chaotic, but I think that's part of a good heist film because stuff usually goes wrong. So I understand that this is up against Point Break and Patrick Swayze, but it's a good film. Rewatching it in the last couple of weeks, it was very 90s, way more 90s like visually than I remembered it being, but it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it.
This is David O. Russell, correct?
Yes.
Has she changed your mind, Kevin?
No. I do think I do think Three Kings is one of the better David O. Russell movies, and I do think it is good. But in terms of the heistiness and just how much we think about in terms of all of these films, it's Point Break for me.
Paul, has you changed your mind, or are you sticking with Point Break?
I think it was very well argued, but Point Break is an iconic movie that I must stay with at this point.
And nobody puts Baby in the corner. So we will be moving Point Break into round 2. Next 3/4 of the panelists want to feel the heat of 4-seed Dog Day Afternoon from 1975. But I am feeling artsy-fartsy, and I'm going with 1-seed The Thomas Crown Affair, the Pierce Brosnan remake from 1999. I'll explain my high appraisal of this high-class cat-and-mouse game. So first I want to share what my personal rubric is for this episode. A, how important is the robbery to the film? How interesting or inventive is the robbery? How compelling do I find the thief or the detective? And how good is the movie overall? So this version of the Thomas Crown Affair is a remake of the 1968 film with then-current James Bond Pierce Brosnan taking over for Steve McQueen as the titular art thief, Rene Russo stepping in for Faye Dunaway, and Dunaway herself in a relatively superfluous but utterly delicious role as Crown's condescending therapist. So the robbery in this case, it's the theft of a Monet masterpiece from the Metropolitan Museum of Art in broad daylight, is completed within the first 20 minutes of the movie. But its whereabouts drive the action throughout, and I think the actual scheme is both inventive and in parts nonsensical, but I loved that third act reveal. The truly remarkable thing about this film, however, is Rene Russo. It was supposed to be a Pierce Brosnan vehicle, and he's good, but this is a Rene Russo movie. She is so good in this movie that even when she's overacting, and it happens a lot, I weirdly just find it more endearing. Also, she is scorching hot in this movie. The nipples are nippling. After watching this film, I had to change my sexual orientation to gay, except for Rene Russo in the Thomas Crown Affair. With that being said, Kevin, have I swayed your mind, or are you going to be sticking with Dog Day Afternoon?
Eric, you did a really good job. And I was like almost there, especially in talking about Rene Russo, because I love
And
Rene
her nipples,
Russo.
beautiful. And they're
She is,
everywhere.
you're not wrong. This was like her coming back. Like this was, to be honest with you, part of why I can't in the end switch is because Steve McQueen is so much better at the lead role in the original, and Pierce
Yeah.
Brosnan just feels forgettable in this movie.
Yeah.
And this would be a vote for Rene Russo. And with that, Attica.
Sciatica. Carissa, are you sticking with Dog Day Afternoon?
I am, as much as I do love the Rene Russo. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan feels like the businessman with the green apple guy, sort
Yes.
of replaceable, anonymous.
Totally. Paul, you sticking with Dog Day Afternoon?
This was one of my hardest ones because I love the Thomas Crown Affair, but I did find out in the process that Pierce Brosnan used a butt double, and I felt like there was a heist on my own development. It was my soul was stolen, and while that is meta, I have to stick with Dog Day Afternoon.
So we will be moving Dog Day Afternoon into round 2. Next, the panel is evenly split between 2-seed Heat from 1995 and 3-seed Jackie Brown from 1997. Kevin, tell us why you bonded with Jackie Brown. Paul, tell us why Heat, like Al Pacino's wife in the film, has a great ass. Paul, please go first.
This one is a hard one for me because if I'm being honest, I didn't completely fall in love with either one of the movies. Heat, I went with Heat. Heat is not a perfect movie. It's way too long. Sometimes it drags for like the planning scenes. It is a movie about inexplicable hair choices from Jon Voight's mullet to them dyeing Ashley Judd's hair the exact same color as her skin. It's all madness.
Oh God, it's so bad.
But I think ultimately the good really outweighs the bad. I really responded mostly, I think, to Robert De Niro's performance. I thought he found something really like affecting in it. Once I got over the fact that his name was Neil McCauley, which is the name of a CPA, not a master thief, but I worked through that in like the first 10 minutes. And then when he had that scene with Al Pacino, the only real scene they share together, and he was able to bring Pacino back down to earth a little bit because Pacino's starting to Pacino really hard in this movie. I really appreciated that. I really liked the Val Kilmer character, that story. I really thought like some of the action scenes were kinetic and fun. So I came down ultimately on the side of Heat for this one.
Great, good argument. Kevin, talk to us about Jackie Brown.
Yeah, this is a tough one. With that said, I think Jackie Brown, wait for it, is Quentin Tarantino's best movie. And I think this adaptation of the Elmore Leonard book is leverages the talents of a really impeccable ensemble. I think this movie got a bum rap when it came out because it was following Pulp Fiction, and people held him to a standard that they wanted the same type of energy and vibe. And what he does in Jackie Brown is actually takes what works in, which we'll talk about in a little bit later, even better from Reservoir Dogs, and kind of creates a more complex heist movie that really examines people in a much more nuanced and grounded way. And my God, Pam Grier is the maybe the most iconic lead in this bracket. Like her work in The Heist and how she manipulates the system and the game in partnership with Robert Forster, who is so incredible in this as well, along with Samuel L. Jackson. This ensemble is really great. Thank God one of the last times we saw Bridget Fonda, because woof, she is a stinker. Big time. I'll even admit that. But this movie is so entertaining. Everyone is playing a different version of themselves, and Pam Grier is playing cool as a heist maven. It's so good.
But how is Bridget Fonda's feet, more importantly?
Oh God!
Oh, it's like literally the first frame of her is nothing but
No.
feet. God, get a grip, Tarantino. Carissa, has he changed your mind? Where are you going on this one? Is it going to be Pam? Is it going to be Pam Grier? Is it going to be Jackie Brown, or is it going to be Heat?
Motherfucking Pam Grier. Like, this is probably showing my hand too soon, but when I watched a bunch of heist movies during the pandemic with my friend, Jackie Brown was my number one. Like, I love this movie so much. So my vote's with Jackie here.
So initially I had voted for Heat, but don't be mad at me, Paul. In watching both of these films back to back, I found I was getting bored with Heat in parts, and I never got bored with Jackie Brown for even a second. I was completely dialed in, even with Bridget Fonda on the screen. De Niro is really good in Heat. Pacino is good in Heat. I think they do Kilmer a disservice. I think he gets lost along the way. But to me, it felt very much like this is a man's version of Heist, and I felt that the emotions were very shallow. And boy, the emotions in Jackie Brown really hit me. And I don't know, tell me I'm wrong. I had a crush on Robert Forster by the end of that movie. I totally did. So that gives us 3 for Jackie Brown, 1 for Heat, and Jackie Brown will continue into round 2. Next, 75% of the panel is taking the bait and moving 4C A Fish Called Wanda from 1988 into round 2, but Carissa is giving big license to 1C Baby Driver from 2017. Carissa, see if you can be the wheelman that sees Baby Driver speed into round 2.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna sway any hearts and minds here. This is interesting because I watched this movie a couple of times, but it's been a few years. And so when I filled out my bracket, then I went back and watched some stuff, and rewatching this just the other day, I was like, I don't know. I don't like this as much as I thought I did. But it has a lot of the quintessential heist parts. Baby is the driver. For a crime syndicate boss, Kevin Spacey. And it starts with him basically finishing one last job to pay off a debt. So that happens. That happens in the first like 20, 30 minutes of the film. And then he, joins the real world, but then, he's the lucky charm and the boss tries to bring him back in and threatens his, love interest. And so he goes into this heist. Things go haywire. They're trying the heist in this is interesting. They're robbing the post office to steal money orders. Yeah. And it doesn't go well. Most of the people involved in this die. And not just gunshots. There's a brutal rebar death that happens. The soundtrack is omnipresent. Baby is always listening to things in his headphones, and we get that throughout the film, which is really interesting until it becomes a part where it's maybe too cloying. And it's really you see a progressive moral awakening, and there's a love story that's really, really innocent. Like they're with each other, but they've maybe gone on a date. It's all very chaste, and then I guess I won't spoil the end in case you're going to see it, but it's a good film. Is it the best film? I don't know. I'll let you all weigh in.
Paula, she swayed you with that that very strong. Just like I don't know. What do you think, Paula? She's swayed you. You're sticking with The Fish Called Wanda.
I got to stick with A Fish Called Wanda. I enjoyed the soundtrack, but I didn't see a film with Baby Driver.
All right, Kevin, Fish Called Wanda or Baby Driver for you?
I'm sticking with A Fish Called Wanda. Baby Driver is. It's so funny that you say it's forgettable, Carissa, because I did watch it even recently, and I honestly still don't remember a lot of it's a good soundtrack, and I was just like, nah.
It's got a lot of the same pieces as Drive, the Ryan Gosling, Nicholas Wayne reference that came out 5 years earlier, and that film is superior. Also, not on this bracket. Definitely a heist film. We could be talking about that, and we probably should be talking about that one instead. So I get it.
Yep, this is the part where I remind everybody listening, go vote in the polls. You determine what we actually talk about on these episodes. But yeah, I'm going to also stick with A Fish Called Wanda. I will rebuke Kevin for his John Hamm slight because I will take John Hamm however I can get him. That's all I'm saying. All right, we are going to be moving A Fish Called Wanda into round 2. Next, the panel is evenly split again, this time between 2-seed The Italian Job from 2003 and 3-seed The Great Muppet Caper from 1981. Carissa, tell us why The Italian Job is molto bene. Paul, see if you can steal a vote or two in favor of The Great Muppet Caper. Carissa, please go first.
I love this Italian Job. I think it's really fun. Mark Wahlberg, one of the stars. We also have Charlize Theron, Ed Norton. So this one is interesting because the heist happens in the very beginning of the film, and then there's a double cross. And then what they all steal is stolen by Ed Norton, who's part of the crew. The safecracker dies. The elderly gentleman who is Charlize Theron's dad, and it was his last job. So the rest of the film is them. They find Ed Norton like a year later, and they decide they're going to steal what was stolen from them back. And they rope in the daughter, who's a safecracker, for revenge, vengeance for her father's death. You know, all of the things. We have some tricked out Mini Coopers, a lot of crazy LA traffic light shenanigans happening. And the plan changes. The plan has to change, and they have to adapt on the fly. And I think it's really fun. It does some creative stuff that we don't tend to see a lot. So I like this movie. It's maybe not the most substantive of what we have here, but it's really fun. It's great popcorn stuff.
Well, if you want to talk about substantive, moving, serious cinema, I give you The Great Muppet Caper. Paul, please talk to us about that film.
Okay, I know I said in the last one I didn't have a strong horse in this game, but I am riding this horse hard. I should have to say 5 words. Miss Piggy on a motorcycle. I don't know what else we want from heist movies. This is a movie that is giving us Miss Piggy in a full Busby Berkeley synchronized swimming routine. This has Diana Rigg and Charles Grodin as siblings with opposite accents, and absolutely nothing is commented on about it. We have fashion models / jewel thieves, the iconic Marla, Carla, and Darla. You want strong female characters? Miss Piggy bends the bars of her own jail cell to free herself. She does not need to be saved by man nor frog. This movie is a caper. This is a heist. This is, you know what? If I just may take one pot shot at my competition on my way out as I wrap up. Look, part of my experience with The Italian Job may be affected by the fact that I find Mark Wahlberg to be a black hole where charisma goes to die.
Ooh.
But outside of
love
that,
it.
The movie canonically ends with Seth Green getting a stereo so strong that it blows an unsuspecting woman's clothes off. Miss Piggy would never. I dare you to do that to Miss Piggy. Dare you.
Oh, my God. He would be karate chopped into space where he would meet the pigs in space. Yes.
Exactly.
Excellent. Amazing argument. Kevin, is it going to be The Italian Job, or is it going to be The Great Muppet The Great Muppet Paper? The Great Muppet Caper.
Okay, so Eric thinks that I don't like when we advance the Muppets, which is a falsehood. It is a falsehood. He's a liar. I don't know who told him this. I love the Muppets. This is one of the best fucking movies. I love this movie. The accents, everything. Yep, I won't say any more because I've got more to say. It's the Muppets.
I'm giving it to the Muppets, baby. I don't know what I was thinking when I filled out this bracket. I must have been high. But I'm giving it to The Great Muppet Caper. Like, I saw this movie when I was like 5, and it has stuck with me. When you mentioned the Busby Berkeley Miss Piggy routine, like emblazoned into my brain to this day. Yes, Great Muppet Caper will advance into round 2. It's another split decision, as half the panel prefers 1992's Tarantino debut, One Seed Reservoir Dogs, and the batshit 2013 magic heist film, Now You See Me, a 4 seed. Kevin, get colorful as you push for Reservoir Dogs. Paul, for your next trick, see if you can convince us that Now You See Me makes a lick of sense. Kevin, please go first.
Yeah. I like, no offense. Sorry, guys. There's only like one bad movie on this list to me, and it is the movie I'm arguing against, Now You See Me. I do not think it makes any sense. I get that people find it fun, but I will even say this. So I watched Reservoir Dogs for the first time in 20 years, probably, a couple of days ago. I had not seen it since college. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I was glued into that movie. Like, I have my problems with Tarantino big time for
Especially
many reasons. He and Deborah Messing get along, probably. I don't know. But I was into this movie. What it does for Quentin Tarantino's first film is it takes the heist film, and I know this sounds like kind of like up its own ass, but it like basically breaks down the heist from a very different angle and a perspective that I was just like, oh yeah, like this movie is fun. He doesn't include himself in the movie too long as an actor. A+ there. Good work, killing him off. And you have like these performances that I was just like, whoa. Harvey Keitel is a fucking great actor. Tim Roth is a fucking great actor. And then really one of the best Steve Buscemi performances. He's just that perfect balance of endearing and annoying. I was just really impressed with this movie and didn't remember how good it was. So
Thank
that's
you
why
for
it gets
that.
my vote.
Awesome. Thank you. Paul, talk to us about Now You See Me.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to reject the assignment. I will not be arguing that this movie is not stupid or that it makes sense, because that is not the point of this movie.
That's correct.
I watched these movies. I knew immediately I preferred Now You See Me. I didn't know if I could honestly stand here and say it's a better movie than Reservoir Dogs, and I decided that was not the assignment either. The assignment is for me to say that someone, and I should have written down the names of the writers, but someone said, I'm going to take a group of close-up magicians, the canonically least cool profession that anyone could possibly have, and I'm going to turn them into a group of Robin Hooding thieves. I'm going to write a movie in which absolutely nothing makes sense. The end reveal doesn't work. A group of humans changes into a flock of birds at one point. I don't care. I don't care. They got Michael Caine. They got Michael Caine to sign up for this.
Yeah.
They got Morgan Freeman to sign up for this. They got 2 successful sequels with a 3rd in the works. This is a heist on the American public to make them think this movie is worth it. This is a meta heist. This is the best heist movie ever because of that stupidity. It is the apotheosis of idiocy, and that is why it should advance.
I love that argument, and everything you just said was the truth. Carissa, is it going to be Reservoir Dogs, or is it going to be Now You See Me?
It's Now You See Me. I love this series. It is my guilty pleasure. They are so much fun. Like, yeah, let's make a bunch of money disappear in a safe in Paris. Okay, cool. Like, it only works because it's movie magic. It's like magic but extra. And so you know, you can't buy any of this. You just have to be along for the ride. And it is wonderful. It is fun. It's not going to challenge you too much. It's great. I just, yeah, unlikely friends, unlikely cast, and now we're gearing up for, you know, a new generation of them. So I'm with Now You See Me. Also, we already have a Tarantino moving forward. Just
we do. And also we're going to have another Tarantino moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, I love the arguments.
I can accept it.
The arguments. It is the dumbest. Like, I'd never seen it before I had to do my research for this. And I just sat there on the couch and I was just like, what the fuck is happening in this movie?
I own them on Blu-ray, man. Like, this is how in I am. I don't have a lot of physical media. I have those.
I'm watching it with my partner. He's like, did she just in a bubble in the theater? Okay. So anyway, we have to wrap it up. We will be moving. It's a split decision. Reservoir Dogs has the 1 seed, and so Reservoir Dogs will move into round 2. Finally, in round 1, it's one final unanimous decision as 3 seed Inside Man, the 2006 Spike Lee joint, was determined a better heist film compared to 2 seed Inception, Christopher Nolan's mind heist flick. But we should at least speak on Inception before we send it off. It is an Oscar winner. It's one of those movies that made Nolan huge. It's a really cool concept. It's a really great cast. It's really all of those things.
It's
but
3 days long.
Yeah, it's super long. And honestly, I had never seen Inside Man until I was doing my research for this. And I was like, this is a fucking cool movie. So that's why I changed it. Anybody want to say anything else on Inception? Or
it's interesting because Inception gets like too complicated, I think, and too high-techy. And Inside Man is sort of the opposite. It's really down and dirty how they do what they do. So
Kevin?
I was just going to say that scene where Leonardo DiCaprio walks Elliot Page through the whole thing is one of the worst sequences in a Nolan movie ever, and it kind of ruins the heist, in all honesty, the heist elements. So it's Inside Man, easily.
All right, so Inside Man will move into round 2, and that's the end of round 1. We're going to take a quick break to hold up a bank branch mere hours after their cash pickup. Whoopsie! We'll be right back. Hello, listeners. We hope you're enjoying this week's episode. If you've ever wondered how we land on the 16 finalists for our brackets, head over to our website, greatpopculturedebate.com. That's where you'll find our public polls for upcoming topics, and your votes decide what we debate next. While you're there, be sure to check out the listener bracket for this episode so you can play along at home. You can also explore related episodes like Best Classic Hollywood Star, Best Film of 1988, and Best Picture Oscar winner, all available right now. And don't forget about Patreon. Our supporters get access to exclusive episodes, 2 available at all times, with new Patreon-only episodes dropping twice a year. Visit patreon.com/greatpopculturedebate to sign up and listen to Best Oscar-winning Original Song and Best Legion of Superheroes member today. We also have a weekly newsletter packed with updates on movies, TV, music, video games, and more. Just head to the subscribe section of our website and sign up today. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And once again, visit greatpopculturedebate.com for upcoming polls, TV recaps, and tons of additional bonus content. We'll be right back after this. And we are back for round 2 of our best heist film debate. Before we get into the next round, I would like to ask our special guest, Paul. You have a great show yourself. If you enjoyed this program, you like the vibe, the Gen Z loves the vibes. I think you would just love Paul's podcast as well. Paul, why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, thank you. So I have a show I do with my friend Erica. It's called That Aged Well. And we watch mostly movies, mostly from the 80s and 90s. And because that's how old I am. That's what I grew up with. And we talk about how, look, there's no black people in this movie set in Chicago, and how racist and how sexist and how homophobic is it. But I want to be clear. We love the movies. We just want to know what we're watching. Lots of dick jokes going with all of that stuff. So we try to have a good time. We'll recap the movie for you. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't worry about it. We'll spoil it completely for you. And you can have a good time. And then you don't have to watch the movie if it's no good. It's a public service.
It's a public service. And if you're enjoying this episode and you're wondering, why is the Sting not on here? They just did the Sting a couple weeks ago as I re-record this. And it's a hoot and a half. And I cannot recommend this podcast strongly enough. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a joy to have you.
Thank you. It's been so fun. And I think I have to start stretching because I think the next round is a big one for me. I was told to... listeners, I was told to go kicking and screaming in the break, so get ready. It's going to be...
I think I specifically said kick and scratch, so
yes.
Shield your eyes and gird your loins. All right. Where can people find about your podcast? Do you have a website?
thatagewell.com, or anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there. That Age Well, we pop up first.
Perfect. The best place to find us is on Blue Sky at gpcd.bsky.social or at Great Pop Culture Debate on Instagram or TikTok. You should also make sure to subscribe to our page on YouTube, where we're posting original videos as well as video versions of these episodes. Now let's get into round 2 so we can get back to digging Clive Owen's his shithole. First up, there's a lazy water pun somewhere as most of the panel is hoping to score big with 1-seed Ocean's 11, but Paul is still on board with 2-seed surfer thriller Point Break. Paul, tell us why you think Point Break is so gnarly, man. Kevin, the odds are in your favor. Make sure that the house wins when it comes to Ocean 11. Paul, please go first.
Look into my eyes. Point Break is a perfect film. Ocean's 11 is too slick. It's glossy. It's Hollywood. Point Break, we have Patrick Swayze being a sex god. Being a sex god in a haircut that probably belongs on an HR person named Marilyn, but still managing to be a sex god despite all of that. We have Keanu Reeves being his sweet summer child self while also saying lines like, I am an FBI agent. We have Lori Petty being a dyed-in-the-wool weirdo and still getting to be the love interest. We have surf Nazis. We have surf Naziettes. We have Anthony Kiedis. We have guard dogs being used as projectiles. We have MacGyvered flamethrowers. We have presidential masks, incredible cinematography, 2 scenes where Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves jump out of an airplane, because why not? There's enough homoeroticism in this movie to fuel 3 more seasons of heated rivalry, and I don't know why else we're here. I think Point Break deserves to move forward because I don't like Ocean's 11 that much. There.
Great argument. Thank you so much. With that being said, Kevin, talk to us about Ocean's 11. We haven't really talked about it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Ocean's 11 last night. I've watched it many times. It is a definition. It is the definitive heist movie, in my opinion, modern or classic. It has, while it is a remake of an old 1960s film, that movie sucks, and it's not very good, and it stars people like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Angie Dickinson, who were friends, and even then I was kind of bored with it, where this takes some of the most iconic people in film history, old and new, and brings them together to fuck over Andy Garcia. Who doesn't want to fuck over Andy Garcia? My God. He's a top tier A+ shithead villain who would hang out with Kevin O'Leary and work with him. So of course he's a villain. You have Julia Roberts, and in this, I think she gets a lot of guff in these movies as not being as cool or as sexy. But she's just not as overtly sexy as we would think. She is so iconic as Tess, and her chemistry with George Clooney is off the charts. When they're fighting, when they're in love, it has that classic relationship element in the heist movie that's so good. Fucking Elliot Gould, who is one of the most iconic human beings. And when he says to Matt Damon while he's sitting by the pool, he's like, "Oh, so are you in?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, get in the fucking house." It's so good watching them like scheme this plan out, fail, and then you can hear their voices as they're doing the heist, and it's just so goddamn fun. I could talk about this forever, and Brad Pitt is always eating something different, and it's so hilarious. It is an iconic heist film.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Carissa, is it going to be Ocean's 11 or is it going to be Point Break?
This is tough because they're both really good. Point Break
Yep.
is more like a series of heists, and Ocean's 11 is one really, really complicated, multifaceted, many-parted heist. And what it comes down to for me is the ragtag group of people who come together and accomplish this massive task. Those are the heist movies I love the most. So Ocean's 11 for me.
Yeah, I thought you did the best job you possibly could defending Point Break, Paul. I appreciate it. You went out there doing yeoman's work. I'm going to give it to Ocean's 11, in
enough.
addition to Sex God, Patrick Swayze, and Keanu Reeves. I have such a thing for Scott Conn. He's not even particularly objectified in Ocean's 11, but short king energy, I can't say no to it. And that jawline, good God. So I am going to move forward. 3 votes, Ocean's 11 will go into the final 4. Next, the panel is split between 3-seed Jackie Brown and 4-seed Dog Day Afternoon. Carissa, tell us why Jackie Brown has this one in the bag, specifically a shopping bag filled with beach towels and $500,000. Paul, please stick up for the seminal bank heist film Dog Day Afternoon. Paul, please go first.
All right. So first of all, I will say that I've been having some fun with these other ones. I'm going to go to the mat for Dog Day Afternoon because I not only believe this is the best heist movie in this bracket, I think it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It is our only movie from the 70s representing on this list. It is an incredible movie. The cast is unimpeachable, from Al Pacino all the way down to like the kid who delivers the pizzas. Like, they're all great. I kind of talked a little bit about how Al Pacino was kind of becoming a parody of himself in Heat, and in this movie, you forget how soulful he could be and how much like just pure emotion he could project. This movie is him at his absolute best. It has John Cazale in it, being this twitchy, weird, unsettling character that like is going to be my sleep paralysis demon probably going forward. It has stuff to say about police brutality, about mental health, about queer liberation. It looks incredible. It's tense as hell. It's emotionally wrought. And it even has time to squeeze in some comedy. And like, if you think that that recipe is easy, read some of the reviews for the played adaptation that just opened on Broadway of it, because that got panned. So I just think this movie, of all the movies I watched for the first time for this project, this was far and away my favorite. And I just think it's an incredible piece of filmmaking, and also truly, genuinely, really entertaining. And I loved this movie.
Awesome. And it's one of those movies I don't think we've literally ever talked about on this podcast. So I love that we're doing this episode and talking about it. Carissa, I would love for you to talk to us about Jackie Brown. We've talked about it a little bit already.
We have, and this is kind of hard because these are both really good films in addition to being heist films. Dog Day Afternoon is a lot more frantic because it's more of a spur of the moment kind of thing. And so it's a different experience versus Jackie Brown, which is very cool. It is very calm. It is very planned. And the thing that I also love about Jackie Brown, in addition to Pam Grier, and Pam Grier in the blue suit at the end, is Tarantino loves movies, and you get that. Like, I know it can get really annoying, but in this film, I think it's great. Like the opening scene, which references The Graduate, where she's moving through the airport. And there's a lot of nods to some of her blaxploitation roles, like where she's also very cool. If you haven't seen Coffee, it's so good. And just seeing her, Pam Grier, like revise those roles as an older woman who's just so much more self-assured, and she's just so calm and cool, and she does not take any shit from anybody. I love Jackie Brown. I gotta move forward, Jackie Brown.
Kevin, is it going to be Dog Day Afternoon, or is it going to be Jackie Brown for you?
I don't know.
I know.
This is tough because Carissa is right. These are both like really good films, and I'm impressed with how many auteur-driven films are actually in this bracket, and that of course includes Now You See Me. I kid. I'm sorry. I like it. I don't mean to shade it. I do like it, Carissa. I'm sorry. I do like it. I don't know. Because where are you going with this? I'm curious.
I'm going to switch to Dog Day Afternoon. I think I love Jackie Brown. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But I do think Dog Day Afternoon does something very different from any other film in this bracket. And I don't know if other films would exist had Dog Day Afternoon not been done so well. And it's also a different type of heist movie in that everything goes wrong in this one. And it's, yes, things go wrong in other heist movies, but like they go really wrong in this one. And it goes wrong very quickly. So I am switching to Dog Day Afternoon. But that being said, it's the 4 seed. Jackie Brown is the 3 seed. So your vote actually does determine this, Kevin.
I know. And I was thinking I'm switching to Dog Day
No
Afternoon
pressure.
too. I know. I was thinking I'm switching to Dog Day Afternoon too. And it's mainly because of it's not a pepperoni argument. It's just a different type of film that I think could be represented in this bracket in terms of the way the heist film. I think it's a really good point, Eric. I am going to switch to Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, that being said, please go watch Jackie Brown. It's awesome. And if you haven't watched it, you are missing out. Yeah. And Pam Grier is a fucking legend.
I don't like it.
We should do best Pam Grier film. All right, we will be moving Dog Day Afternoon into the final 4. And now for something completely different, a comedy heist smackdown between 4-seed A Fish Called Wanda and 3-seed The Great Muppet Caper. Kevin, tell us why you're still gonzo over The Muppet Caper. I will try to seduce my panelists into voting for Fish Called Wanda. I'm going to go first here. So we've talked about this movie multiple times on our show. It was in our Best Film of 1988. It was in our Best Golden Globe winner for comedy or musical. I love it. Certain aspects of the movie have not aged well. Pants to Paul. But John Cleese, Jamie Lee Curtis, and peak hotness Kevin Kline, all spectacular in it. All of them are so good. The robbery is actually, frankly, perfunctory here. It's not especially exciting. It certainly hurts the movie in my rubric. The film is more about the fallout of the heist, as each member of the cast attempts to double-cross basically every other member at one point or another, which is hilarious, and I guess it also speaks to the nature of career thieves. It's zany, it's wacky, it's hilarious, but is it any of those things more than The Great Muppet Caper, where the actual heist is more integral to the picture? I don't know. So Kevin, talk to us about Great Muppet Caper.
Eric, does A Fish Called Wanda open with a musical number and sequence with a bank robbery in the background, and then the headline the next day in the paper the two people work for say, identical twins join the Chronicle? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. And when I tell you that that is one of the funniest jokes in any film ever made, I'm not exaggerating, because the Great Muppet Caper like really just takes like it's when people say, oh, spoof movies can't exist anymore, and like the jokes have to be raunchy or bawdy or anything. These movies genuinely prove that like the art of comedy and how they intersect with the genre that they're like talking about really can absolutely work. And this movie does a great job of like leaning into the like almost like a neo-noir on comedy hype. Like it's just really fun. And I mean, I used to watch it all the time as a kid, and Diana Rigg and Charles Grodin, and it is just so funny. And every Muppet is used well in this movie. That's the other thing. It's just like focused on specific character, and you get that, which I also think adds to why this movie is fun. And that hotel, baby, I'd stay there. That would be at like a gay event or something like that. Or that's the where people are sleeping at Coachella this year.
Yes, yeah, basically. Carissa, is it going to be Great Muppet Caper, or is it going to be A Fish Called Wanda for you?
I am so swept away by all of these Muppet Caper arguments. Like, I am fully on board for Muppet Caper.
Amazing. Paul, I think I know where you're going. Is it going to be Great Muppet Caper or is it going to be A Fish Called Wanda?
I want to honor the brilliant performances of Kevin Kline and Jamie Lee Curtis in A Fish Called Wanda. They have stuck with me since I first saw the movie when I was like, I don't know, 8 or something. And they have stayed with me, but it has to be The Great Muppet Caper for me.
All right, I love the fact that we are living in a world in which the Great Muppet Caper has made the final four in a Best Heist Film debate, and so it shall do so. Finally, in round 2, we have a unanimous decision in favor of 3-seed Inside Man, which means that 1-seed Reservoir Dogs' chance may have run dry. And with that, we have our final four. We're going to take a quick break to have an affair with Thomas Crown and also with Rene Russo. Because have you seen Rene Russo? We'll be right back after this.
Let's be honest. The world is on fire and you could use another distraction, right? For daily doses of nostalgia, our takes on the pop culture zeitgeist, and our panelists' picks from movies, music, TV, and more, follow the great pop culture debate on Blue Sky and Instagram. We're posting the polls you love and the memes you need. Whether you're a Blue Sky early adopter or an Instagram scroller, find us at Great Pop Culture Debate. Keep the conversation going, one post at a time.
And we are back with the final four of our Best Heist Film debate. Let's take a look at what we've got. It is Ocean's 11, a 1-seed, versus Dog Day Afternoon, a 4-seed, the Cinderella story of our particular debate. And then The Great Muppet Caper, a 3-seed, versus Inside Man, a 3-seed. I do think these seeds are crazy. They are wacky. This is an episode where the poll didn't get a ton of votes, and I think you see that here. So this is, again, a reminder. Please go vote on our polls pages at greatpopculturedebate.com to make sure that we have better seeds going forward. But I'd like to start Ocean's 11 versus Dog Day Afternoon. I'm going to start with Carissa Claus.
Yeah, I'm with Ocean's 11 here because ultimately for me, I really enjoy the heist movies where it's a ragtag team, multiple moving parts, pulling off something that feels impossible, right? In the beginning when they're like, we're going to rob at this, you're always like, that's impossible. And then they show you how it isn't. So Ocean's 11 for me.
Kevin Dillon, is it going to be Ocean's 11 or Dog Day Afternoon?
It's also going to be Ocean's 11 for me as well. In this movie, I think what I really like is that, Eric, you mentioned earlier Scott Conn. The constant fighting between Casey Affleck and Scott Conn is, as a recurring joke, is so funny. I love it so much. The like dumb brother kind of funny humor that they do. I think we get to see other folks also like Bernie Mac, Don Cheadle, and other really folks lean into some of their skills and strengths. And what I like about this movie as well is just the end as well. When you see them all at the fountain, it feels very uplifting and like bonding in what like the core of a heist movie is about. And it's the bonds we made all the way with those heists that are successful, and like getting to see like the underdog succeed, which is what we all really ultimately want in a heist movie. We want the actual heist to go off, because for the most part, those people are underdogs in society, and they're taking from someone who's an asshole, and they're fighting a system. And that's what makes Oceans really great and really fun. And those 3 sequences in the Vegas casino where they show the people trying to leave is also incredible.
That is, yeah. Speaking of underdogs and fighting the system, you can't get more underdog and fighting the system than Dog Day Afternoon, right, Paul?
That's right. And I agree with everything that Chris and Kevin said. Like I went into this expecting to advance a caper easily over the more serious ones, because you're right, like heist films, I feel like usually I do go into a heist film wanting to have a good time and be uplifted and be amazed, and that is not what Dog Day Afternoon is doing. It is a mess from minute one. Like they have not thought this through. But I find it riveting to watch. I find the sequences in the bank where like I find the sequences in the bank where the bank tellers are starting to like Stockholm syndrome, like really enjoy their hostage takers, you know, Al Pacino and John Cazale and all of that. I find it a fascinating study of human behavior. I just think it's such a good movie, great, incredible movie. I'm going to vote for that. I do understand though, like the idea of like we're talking about heist movies. Is it the best heist movie? I don't know. It's just such an amazing movie. I have to vote for it.
Yeah, and again, I'm so glad we're talking about it. We've never talked about it on here. I am giving it to Ocean's 11 here. It wouldn't matter honestly if I did or not because Ocean's 11 is the 1 seed, Dog Day is the 4. I just think Ocean's 11, if we go back to my rubric, like how important is the heist to the film? The entire film of Ocean's 11 is the heist from the germination to the end of it. It's like literally the whole movie. Not that Dog Day Afternoon is not as well, but I think the intricacy and the constant subverting of expectations with Ocean's 11 is just a delight, and I love the performances in it. Not that the performances in Dog Day Afternoon are not great as well, but we will be moving Ocean's 11 into the final two. Great Muppet Caper versus Inside Man. We've not really talked about Inside Man yet, but Paul, where are you going on this one?
I want to talk about Inside Man because I really liked Inside Man, and I think my ultimate vote is going to go for the Great Muppet Caper, although I'm not 1,000% sure yet. But Inside Man was I thought that movie did such a good job of being exactly one step ahead of the audience. It never got so complicated that you couldn't follow it, and like I'd say about 50% of the time when a twist happened, I like figured out the twist mere seconds before the movie told me what it was, which was really fun. I think it's Denzel Washington being a movie star, which is always a blast. Maybe peak Clive Owen for me. Maybe my favorite Clive Owen movie that I've seen in a while. If I had a ding on it, I would say that like Jodie Foster's character kind of floats outside as a plot device, and it feels a little bit like, oh well, we should probably have a woman in this movie, so we might as well put Jodie Foster here in this role. But I love the Dog Day Afternoon Easter egg with Marsha Jean Kurtz playing like the same character as Miriam in both movies. I do think casting Christopher Plummer, aka Captain Von Trapp, as a Nazi colluder is a bit of inspired casting on the part of the movie. Really brilliant. But for me, nothing heists like a caper, and the Great Muppet Capers are my vote's going to go.
Excellent. Kevin, is it going to be Great Muppet Caper or Inside Man for you?
So I know I've been stumping for Muppet, and I love her. I do. But I think it's gonna be Inside Man for me because I think what this movie does, and I know we haven't talked Paul did a good job of talking about it, but Spike Lee has that old school energy or old school vibe of like a 70s crime thriller that he really brings to this movie. His direction is one, oddly enough, that does not get, well, I mean, there are reasons he doesn't get his flowers as much as he should or deserves, but he is one of our greatest working filmmakers. He really knows and understands how to, again, take the genre and the work that you're doing in the film around a heist and really bend it with his own style and substance. It's a great New York City movie because it's a Spike Lee movie, and he's the person who, sorry, Woody Allen, Spike Lee knows New York City and gets it better than you do. And I think this movie emulates the problem that Spike Lee is getting at with the heist is the modern bank system and how fucked up it is. And he really examines that and breaks that apart in a way that I find fascinating. And Denzel Washington is so fucking cool in this movie. And Christopher Plummer calls Jodie Foster the C word, and that's funny.
All right, so that's a vote for Inside Man. Carissa, is it going to be Great Muppet Caper or Inside Man for you?
I think what's really interesting about Inside Man is that the heist is really long. Like it takes place over most of the movie, and it does some weird stuff that you see in other places. There's a show on Netflix called Money Heist where they do a similar thing. They take people hostage. They dress them all in workwear, so it's hard to tell who's who and what's happening, and they can blend in ways. They do a couple of different things in Inside Man to sort of drag it out, and you don't know why until we get the reveal, but even then it still keeps going, and there's like also some kind of like gotcha stuff, and Denzel makes his realization at a time after the rest of the audience does. So I think it's really interesting, and I'm going to go with Inside Man.
I had not seen this movie until we were watching it for this episode, and I'm not going to tell you it's a perfect film, Inside Man. I think it goes on about 20 minutes too long. I think there are moments, like literally I'm sitting there watching, I was like, man, if I'm ever a hostage, I really hope the cops are taking at least some level of like expediency here, because they just hanging out, having a kiki, and I'm in there
being
like,
honest.
yeah, I'm just like,
They
"Whoa."
get pizza.
They do get pizza that's bugged. But there's so many smart ideas in this film that I was just so charmed by, especially from the perspective of the heist folks. Like, they're very smart. The actual thieves in this movie are really smart, and I love a smart thief. And that's why I personally am going to give it to Inside Man here. I'm sorry, Paul. I know you've been riding like Miss Piggy on that motorcycle, and I respect it. But I am going to give it to Inside Man for it. And like, the thieves are really ingenious in this movie and very cool. And that's what I find the most compelling in a heist film. So it's a final two of Ocean's 11 versus Inside Man. I'm going to start smack in the middle with Kevin. Where are you going here?
Wow, an aughts battle. I did not think that would happen, but I kind of love it. I'm gonna go with the movie that opens with a cadre of CW and Fox stars from the aughts. You had Topher Grace, Holly Marie Combs, Jonathan Jackson, and Barry Watson, right, from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, I was like, who is that?
Yeah. But like, I think there's something so effortlessly cool about Ocean's 11. I think all of the movies that do follow it as well have their own level of good too. So it is actually a pretty consistent heist franchise. It's a really interesting. It's a blueprint in a way now, in an interesting way. But it's just a lot of fun, and Clooney being so cool, and he is incredible in it, and Brad Pitt being funny for the first time, I think maybe when I saw that, because he had mostly played pretty serious roles, and he's just very charming, and Matt Damon kind of playing an idiot. Like, Good Will Hunting was wrong, apparently. And, I just love Ocean's 11. It's just effortlessly fun, and I'm always going to want to watch a Julia Roberts heist movie. Hey.
All right. Paul, is it going to be Ocean's 11 or Inside Man?
Oh, this is hard. I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say Inside Man. I think maybe I watched Ocean's 11 too many times when it came out, and now all of its its charms are lost on me when I watched it, because it seems like you all enjoyed it much more than I liked it, but it was like my brain was smooth or something, and it all just like sloughed right off of me. But Inside Man's a really fun thriller, I think Ocean's 11. Maybe because I knew it so well, there was no surprises, and Inside Man surprised me. So, in the head-to-head, I would go with Inside Man. But again, two really fun, great heist movies.
Great, Carissa, is it going to be Ocean's 11 or Inside Man for you?
So I've already talked about my love of the Now You See Me franchise series, but I think the Ocean series is top notch. Like, maybe this is no, it's not unfair to move Ocean's 11 forward because it is the start, and it is probably the best, excepting 8, of this reboot series. And it's just so good. It is so slick. It is all the things that I want from a heist movie. And I think Soderbergh, he's a little hit or miss, but I think he does a really good job with ensembles. So I really like how all the pieces of this one come together. So Ocean's 11 for me.
I had only seen Ocean's 11 in the theater when it came out, and I had only seen it again when I watched it for this particular episode. And it was funny how little of it I remembered, but what struck me particularly watching it again was, and I think Kevin alluded to this, there is an old Hollywood, classic Hollywood vibe with this cast, particularly the energy between Clooney and Roberts, where I was like, this could have been Bogey and Bacall. It's that type of energy, and it has old Hollywood, just cool vibes, but in a way that felt very real and legitimate. But I also think the heist is inspired. I think that I'm rooting for the actual thieves. There are great complications that happen throughout where you're like, oh, this could go really bad really quickly, and it's just, I thought just a spectacle. I was completely dazzled the whole way through. Inside Man is super smart, but I also do think it goes on a little bit too long. There's certain Spike Lee-isms, like there's that tracking shot of Denzel where he's standing perfectly still and it's moving. And I was just like, Spike Lee needs to listen to Spike Lee when it's a bad idea, because like that was bad. There's dizzying highs and terrible lows, but Ocean's 11 didn't have any lows for me. So that's why I'm giving to Ocean's 11. And there you have it, folks. Our pick for the best heist film is Ocean's 11. Do you agree? Do you think we completely messed up this heist? Tell us what you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com, or find us on Blue Sky, TikTok, or Instagram. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear about what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. I want to say thank you to my panel. Special shout out especially to Paul. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. I had such a great time.
Awesome. And thank you for listening. If you loved what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you get even more exclusive content and you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. Hey, look over there. Yoink.